All right, y'all, so we got goblet squats here. This one's gonna be a little bit longer because we got a lot to break down, so just stick with me for a little bit. So when we talk about squats, first and foremost, squats are a compound exercise for your legs. Really, if the squats are heavy enough, they're gonna hit pretty much your whole body. It's just a taxing movement, so heavy squats work a lot of postural stuff as well, but mainly for the legs, okay? Quads, glutes, hams. You start to hit glute once you get proper depth in your squat. So when we talk about depth in your squat, perfect squat depth looks like where your hip crease that forms at the bottom of the squat is in line with the knee or just below it. So it's gonna look something like this, okay? And so a lot of people will tell you to keep your chest upright. Your torso is going to lean in whatever direction that makes the weight become your center of gravity, if that makes sense. So your body is going to kind of accommodate itself depending on your extremity proportions, right? So people with long femurs are gonna have a little bit of a farther forward lean. People with shorter femurs are gonna be able to stay upright, and depending on where the bar is or the weight is, whether it's front or backside, that's gonna change how it looks too. Okay, so don't let yourself be married to the idea of perfectly upright chest posture with a squat, because it's not always gonna look like that, and it might not look like that for you. Like my squats make me look like I have a little bit of a farther lean just because that's where the center of gravity is for me. So really, if we were to draw a line from the floor, it would start at your midfoot and come up to the ceiling. That's the center of gravity. As everything travels through the motion, that's where the center of gravity lies, like right through your midfoot up to the ceiling, okay? So it's right here, if I had a line that I could draw through it. So hopefully that makes sense for you. When we talk about getting into the actual goblet squat position, you got the dumbbell on the floor right here. You're going to want to squat down a little bit. And so when you pull it up off the floor, especially as it gets heavier, it's going to become kind of a combination movement of squatting it up or deadlifting it up and also throwing it up to generate enough momentum so you can transfer and catch at the top. So it's gonna look a little bit something like this. Squat down, deadlift it up, throw and catch. When you got the dumbbell at the top, pin the dumbbell between your hands and your chest, okay? Don't hold it out away from your body. Hold it between your hands and your chest. That way it's just kind of resting there. You're not doing too much to actually hold it, okay? In terms of our feet, we got feet shoulder width apart. Shoulder width apart is the money spot for our feet width on squats. In terms of pointing your toes out or pointing them straight forward, it kind of depends on your hip anatomy. So you can honestly play with your width and where your toes are pointed to see what works best for you. You want to try to avoid any pinching sensations or anything like that. And if your mobility is lacking, that you're not able to sit down into the bottom of your squat to that point where the hip crease is at or below the knee, it could be a mobility thing. It could also be a foot placement thing. So just play with it, see what's comfortable for you. If you're having problems hitting the bottom of your squat, hit me up, we can look at it. I would have to look at your squat specifically to see what's wrong with it, okay? So for me, it's shoulder width apart, feet pointed out a little bit. I got the dumbbell held here, pinned between my hands and my chest. And so from here, you're just going to break at the hips and the knees at the same time, sit down in the hole, push back up, okay? So break hips at the knees at the same time, sit down in the hole, push back up, okay? When you're done, toss that piece back on the floor, celebrate being a hoss.